Welcome back to Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about 4 reissue albums by Swedish progressive rock band, metal band, Seventh Wonder. Now Frontier Records have just released their first 4 albums. We have the albums Becoming, Mercy Falls, The Great Escape and Waiting in the Wings. So these albums are being reissued on Frontier Records. So check them out, metalheads. If you don't already have these albums, now's the time to buy them. Now, Seventh Wonder were formed in Stockholm, Sweden in 2000. The band would release 2 albums on Frontier Records, Tiara in 2018 and The New Testament in 2022. In total, the band have had 3 previous singers. We had Olli Hallen on vocals, we'd have Andy Kisevaka on vocals. Vocalist Tommy Karevik is also with the band Kamelot. It looks like he's left Seventh Wonder of recent. So in the current band's lineup, we have Andreas Blomqvist on bass guitar. We'd have Johan Liefvendahl on guitars. We'd have Anders Söderin on keyboards and Stefan Norgren on drums. So that's the current lineup. The band have had lots of success throughout their career, playing such places as the Prog Power in the US. So I'm going to do all 4 albums in one review. So I'm just going to talk you briefly about each album. So if you've not heard these albums before, please check them out. They kind of remind me of Fate's Warning, Evergrey, Kamelot and Cloudscape, and also Enchant and Dark Waters. So you get a vibe of what the band's music sounds like. So the first album will feature vocalist Andy, who's a great singer. He's different from Tommy. He's got a different vibe to his voice. He kind of reminds me a little bit of the singer from Enchant. And also vocalist Max Bacon, who's also in the band called Bronze and GTR. Music for the first album, Becoming, also reminds me of a band called Mind's Eye and early DGM. It's funny that I mentioned the band Mind's Eye because drummer Daniel Flores actually produced and engineered this album. As I start to listen to this first album, Becoming, especially on the song The Damned, this very much sounds like Symphony X, especially at the beginning. Another band that springs to mind on the debut album is a Dutch band called Suncage. These guys were fantastic. Sadly, they broke up. But this album contains 9 songs. So the songs on the debut album would have Day by Day, Like Him, The Damned, Temple in the Storm, Blind in My Eyes, The Secret, What I've Become, In the Blink of an Eye, and there's a 1 bonus hidden track. So if you haven't heard this debut album, now's your time to go and get it. It's remastered and it's fantastic. Debut album by the band Seventh Wonder. The band's second album, Waiting in the Wings, this is where Tommy came into the band. As we said before, he's now with Kamelot. This album will consist of 9 songs. The songs on this album are Star of David, Taint the Sky, Waiting in the Wings, Banish the Wicked, Not an Angel, Devil Inc., Walking Tall, The Edge of My Blade, and last song is called Pieces. There's hints of Dream Theater in there, so if you're a fan of Dream Theater, you're going to like this album. Like I say, there's bands like Suncage in there, a little hint of Evergrey, Cloudscape, so you get a vibe of what this album sounds like. It's definitely Scandinavian sounding progressive metal. Songs that I like from this album is songs like Waiting in the Wings, Banish the Wicked, Devil Inc., Walking Tall. They're some of my favourite songs. It is slightly different from the first album, but it's still a very good progressive Swedish rock album, metal album. So check it out, guys. It's the second album by Seventh Wonder. It's called Waiting in the Wings. Now we're going to talk briefly about the third album. This is called Mercy Falls. Now this album would consist of 15 songs. I'm not sure if the original version has 15 songs, but this actual Frontiers release has 15. So the songs for this album are A New Beginning, There and Back, Welcome to the Mercy Falls, Unbreakable, Tears for the Father, A Day Away, Tears for the Son, Paradise, Fall in Line, Break the Silence, Hide and Seek, Destiny's Calling, One Last Goodbye, Back in Time, and the last one is called The Black Parade. The opening track, A New Beginning, is pretty much an intro. It lasts for about 3.5 minutes. There and Back is an instrumental, lasts 3 minutes and 2 seconds. It's interesting. It sounds like Dream Theater and Symphony X. Welcome to the Mercy Falls is the actual first song with vocals. This is a very interesting song. This song kind of reminds me of Dark Waters, Symphony X, and the hard rock progressive band Enchant. The song Unbreakable definitely has a vibe of Symphony X and DGM from Italy. Now, the last album of the 4 reissues is The Great Escape. Now, this album only contains 7 songs. The songs for this album are Wise Man, Alley Cat, The Angel Maker, King of Whitewater, Long Way Home, Move On Through, and The Great Escape. Now, you're probably thinking, why is there only 7 songs? Now, the last song, The Great Escape, lasts 30 minutes and 22 seconds. So you could say it's pretty much the same length of a Dream Theater track. I actually remember reviewing this album many, many years ago. And this song, the next song is called Alley Cat, which I think is a really cool song. It stands out for me as being one of the best songs in the album, even when I reviewed it back in the day. That's one thing that I like about progressive rock and especially progressive metal. There's so much happening. You've got to be a musician to appreciate what they're doing. I have much respect for progressive rock and metal bands. So, metalheads, I'm hoping I've given you a little insight of the first 4 albums reissued on Frontier Records. If you're a fan of Symphony X, especially DGM and Dark Waters, you've really got to check out this band. Like I say, Tommy's now in Kamelot. Check out these albums. They've just been reissued on Frontier Records. Thanks for listening, metalheads, and watching. Be safe.